Chumou district de May 31 de a group of girls kanbra ekta maiki student ge bully kurala por social media de to video circulate huigina pishi charja kuina she DCP office pra hulibi konyak students union Chumou bra hulibi to act to bully laga act to contempt kurigina tan press release kan bi digina she aro chundu bullying de involved tagishe tahan bi lola hisab pra gadam lowu she diklan huigina Konyak Students Union Chumou bra press release ekta digina thagishe that bully laga case du bullying case te kiman chun involved tagishe tai khan video banai gina apology diwole lage kwa do aji laga tahan Konyak Students Union Chumou hamra press release olai gina tahan itu chundu involved tagishe bullying la case te maiki tahan laga tu video apology demand kora do tahan withdraw korilushe itu laga upor lugina aji June 3 de yade DCPO office deba child welfare committee khan ba itu May 31st laga incident laga upor de tahan ekta press conference ragigina se aibi amingan press conference te tahan bra ki ko wala se du case laga upor huliwi tahan forward kinaga lui jawala se tahan bi kinaga saigena joise tu laga upor de press conference laga upor amingan details ba joigena sai sabo
We want to thank the media house. Tohan apni han aigina ami han office ti aji ne aha to ami han bishi kushi pai ase. Before we start taking the question, we would just like to introduce ourselves. I'm the chairperson of Child Welfare Committee Chumou. Then we have our District Child Protection Officer here, Mr. Nikito. Then we have from the Juvenile Justice Board, 2 members are present here. Then we have our Child Helpline Coordinator here. So in short, like we just want to introduce our office, like we want public kange janai dibole mon jase mokan child services kandu everything is in place that in Chumou district we have a district child protection unit aro ami hanla district child protection officer hi tai HOD ase aro itula under we have legal cum probationary officers, we have legal probationary officers, we have our counselors, we have our social workers, we have our case workers. Then we have child helpline ase 1098. Then we have our child line coordinator, taila under the supervisor. We have our counselors, case worker, enika counselors set up ase. Then we have child welfare committee chairperson along with me, like their former members. Then JGB, our principal magistrate, judicial magistrate first class is the principal magistrate, and they have like 2 members with itu tahal nodi kurigine mohan iniga mohan child services kando so in place ase de kurina public ke join ase aro ami khan la deputy commissioner prai ami khan la chairman ase iniga kurina sob ke junai di ase.
So today's objective of this interaction and media press con, what is it exactly that you would like to inform us about? Anything in particular? Because yesterday the DCPO had issued a press statement in regard to the bullying case of these few girls from a particular school in Chumou. So can you tell us a bit also about that?
Achha, with regard to this case, we had I'm sure like it's already out in the media from this office. It notification to DCPO Bradigina say it in order to maintain the privacy of the children. It han viral everyday video khan to public notification they already ulagina say we are already looking into the matter. And then with regard to this case, with the initiative of the Konyak Union, the FIR is already being filed in the Women Police Station, and thereafter the law enforcement agency will give it to the concerned authority, that is the JGB. So they will look into the matter as of now. But from our side, from the Child Welfare Committee, our office, like we will be providing counseling to the victim.
We have seen many condemnation letters from different student union groups in Chumou, and there was one that stuck out was the particular tribe student union, and they said that the offender should give a video apology. So is that legal or is that wrong? Can you please also tell us about that?
No, that is not legal. We already spoke with the concerned student union also, and we made them understood, and yes, they have already given out another notification. Itu apni khan dikishna dikhan nai najane, but they have already withdrawn that previous notification which they had given. And with regard to this, we would also want to sensitize the public that since the child services is in place, when iniga incident happened kora time di apni khan if you don't know where to go, please call 1098. They are the first responders. Takhan ahibo aru takhan iniga kurigine takhan intervene kurubo noilibi to the nearest police station. Or if it's if that is like if the offenses is related to crime against children, if it's a crime, if the offender like itu to crime agishugulebu, but if it is a case relating to a child who is in need of care and protection, 109 could be takhan mohan child welfare committee khan ke dibo. But if it's relating to juveniles in conflict with law, then they will forward it to the JGB. So itu kan amingan organization kan ini kan gibi a message dibuli monjado. Of course, we understand that can be they're doing it with good intention, but when in the process itu kore thaka time it amounts to illegality because they do not have the jurisdiction to take up that kind of matter. And baca kan latu whether it be the victim or the offender, like the juvenile, there's or the concerned authorities are in place, and then itu kan do matter relating to children are very sensitive, and we're not only concerned about the victim, but as per the JJ Act, we are concerned about the offender as well. And we don't take up the cases the way like we handled an adult matter. And that is the reason why child offenders are not kept in the jail, but they are kept in a correctional home. If need be, they will be sent to the observation home. Iniga se itu karni iniga la cases kan titu paratak to do aro iniga la issues kan be kide ba to tribal issues bi hoi jai. Itu karni when itu authorities are in place, itu tahan ye iniga when such kind of itu incidents can happen guratam, the concerned authorities can give forward go delay. It will be in the best interest of the victim as well as for the the offender and for the general in public. Itu karni itu public can give it to jonai dia se.
Okay, the sense of media tribal trishina to in our cases can handle session with the practice in a big show, right? So minors can handle the human sensitive in the
Muhandu
for the minors since that is a cases can
because as adults, so people can make their decisions, but minors can the parents can they make the decisions for the children in terms of listening to their own community, be it wrong or right. In Nagaland, we've seen that the law does not is taken into consideration, but more on the community's advices and suggestions by Jack. So because our state is like that, so do you think that that time, at that moment, even parents and the minors also?
The reason why we're giving this press conference is also we want to sensitize the public, we want to educate the public, because iniga amikan cases kan thagishu gulibi, for example, even concerning adults ekta crime kurishe, rape kurishe, murder kurishe guledo, see the tribal bodies, they don't have the authority to take up the matter olibi, since that is the jurisdiction of the police, itu police can hand over kuride. Likewise, even in matters concerning children, we have the JGB, we have the child welfare committees, like itu kan committee kan itu kan I say we are a bench of magistrate, itu karni itu kan ke handle kodishe guledo, itu hi best hobo na. And also like even in the court, like Mohan Children's Court to deal with matters specifically relating to children, we have Children's Court, POCSO Court and then we have a special judge appointed for that, we have a special public prosecutor for that. Inigala cases kanti we have in our experiences ekta share kuri dibo where some children were found stealing, and this matter was taken up by one village council. Village council kan bare itu since it was within the jurisdiction takan itu case lobo hoye nai itu bacha kan luigina takan case lui thagishe. So itu kure takadam di there was one person like taibra kuishe takan ge itu to apni kan ta jurisdiction hoy itu kuishe bole it will amount to illegality to garni. It's better like if you hand it over to the concerned authority koina, they informed us and accordingly we intervened the case and then that was settled. But just in case itu kan shna cases kan tackle kuishe bole to itu bahal kubule time dibi iniga brai situation can aggravate kuri jai to garni. We just wanted to inform the masses that any crime or any offences or anything related to children, like in every district, not only in Chumou but all over Nagaland, every district, the child welfare services is the setup is in place. Everything is in place. Itu karni government pra itu kan cases deal kurubole. Itu kini ga ki kurubo lagi. So everything is in place. Itu karni sida sidi ini ga incident happen kura tam the concerned authorities can get approach kurigina. They can be a pressure group. They can monitor the case to make sure that like justice is delivered. But it'll be like if takan itu case can take up pushi to it'll be like they're taking the law into their own hands, and then iniga justice it will amount to like itu issues ulai jai more instead of settling the matter aggravate hoi jai. Itu karni we would encourage the public also, like in future iniga anything related to children itu kan concerned authorities kan ke approach koina tahana consent tahana advice logine kurile bahal hone ki koina public kan ke chulai dia ase.
The juvenile cases can whose section can impose
under the JJ Act like ase na takan na dibi depending on the kind of offences that they commit takan be itu la subsections can do apply kure, but the cases will not be taken up as the way like more adults can get tried kure in the normal court. They will not be tried in the normal adult court, but they will be tried differently. They will not be produced in the court aro takan do age group bi thake, because when we talk about juvenile we're talking about any person who is below 18 years of age. Aro takan if the juvenile is between the age group of maybe 16 to 18, like takanla mental status can be high, whether itu age timan usually be takanla dimag to like ki last dangor de asina chuti de ase itu kan sob itu kan kuri thage, then itu la hasa pray court pray itu kan matter kan duna itu take up kuri thage.
आपने आगे एक condition, there are observation homes that juveniles or they can be sent to children. The decision does not lie with the child, or it lies with the parents, or who does it lie with to send them to these homes to get help or counseling and all this? What if the parents deny the children all of this also? Because we have seen it many times, it's kind of taboo in our society for children to be going to observation homes, or for counseling is also such a taboo. So is there a law for this to implicate parents also maybe?
See, there's a difference between like observation home, okay? So like when we're talking about observation home, we're talking about children in conflict with law. Bacha ta ekta kiba crime kuri jai, then the bacha will not have the authority to decide I want to go to the correctional home, I don't want to go to the correctional home, kubo na pare. But the board, that is the principal magistrate and the two members are there, they will decide. The board, the committee will decide. Takan pray decide kurigina takani pathabo, because that is in the best interest of the child. Tati jaile tai be correct kurigina, that the person will become reform kurigina, tai be our society di back pothabole karini tati pathai. But when we are talking about counseling can be like in conflict with law be lagibo pare, even in children who are in need of care and protection. Someone like who is a victim has gone through trauma because of some particular incident. Itu kan jisna kan gitu mohan counseling can provide kurena. So counseling too is your choice. Like they can say I want, I don't want it. We cannot enforce on them, but those facilities are also available. And most of the time, like so far, no one has said no to the counseling, and we have already counseled so many children. And mohan najai libi tahani, they have been approaching our office like seeking for counseling.
Okay. Any like the observation home, the counseling that they are here now, the kiman days na here good days time asina
to ududu kuan is na we deal with JJB Juvenile Justice Board kando, we deal with children who comes in conflict with law. To conflict to ki as a offense commit crucial mohala de loania so the procedure is more or less the same with the court proceedings. Okay, it's just that leniency is shown when it comes to children, under the age of 18 years. To do tade do tang la duration do tade kiman diri rakhibo utula do tang la case kiman diri ja ase na utula hisab te ase. So there's again offenses ase, alag different types of offenses ase, petty offenses ase ula tang komti diri na thakibo. Our serious ase usually be eman diri na thakibo. Hines ase usually do there are times when we send them to another place. Okay, that's called a place of safety or special home ko na ekta ase na to du ta la term du serve kurle ta hang ta de pathai olibi otobi heinous cases khan de do dangor cases kan like when I say heinous cases I'm talking about like rape murder so in our cases kan tahan bacha kan utuhan commit kura kan muhala de issue gule do sometimes we have to send them there to tahan lo to 3 years tahan ta de serve kure na maximum 3 years tahan ta de serve ko lage aro membra kwala nisna there are times when bacha kan kumba 16 to 18 years de hoi jai na to 16 to 18 years bacha kan who fall under that age group utukan do heinous kan tahan commit kurisilo do they can be tried as an adult tahan la mental capacity na utu la hisap pra tangi do ina try kuri do duration do ko bojle do it's not like jail nisna iman diri na thaki wo tangan na para tak mon do phat dispose kuri dia petty cases kan do ini joldi dispose kuri dia para tak to bacha kan la case kan do man diri na jai moi ko nisna ala cases when it comes to like this adult offenders ko jule tangan do life imprisonment bin thage do when it comes to children ina nai maximum to 3 years ase only exception is there where if they are like tangala udu category de bushi jeshi la tan heinous crime lena 16 to 18 udu category do tan kitia bushi jabo to they are tried as adults to ina sigilo do udu dam de do upai nai na udu dam de do adult kange kinaga law bra tan la tange handle kore udu la hisap de jai jabo na to duration do it varies okay
can you tell us a little bit about maybe in your notification it had said about social media taking videos, circulating videos, all these things, especially when it comes to a minor. So can you tell us a little bit on the legal aspects also and the job of the CWC in this also, in this regard of taking videos, circulating videos?
See, I wouldn't say that is a job of the CWC in this because that will amount to like anybody circulating like such kind of videos, no little bacha kan like that pictures can circulate kurato, that will amount to the privacy of the child. Our social media kan di na that will amount to cybercrime bhi hoi jai na under the Information Technology Act bhi aa jai, under the JJ Act bhi aa jai, itu BNSS kan di bhi aa jai na, so itu legalities kan to inega ase, but that will depend on the nature of the case from case to case. But then itu ami hala pokso kan di bhi ase, our JJ kan the first and the foremost thing is that we are always in the best interest of the child, and then itu mohandu takanda itu privacy to that is the number one thing na aro mohan to the extent that like mohan not only like itu offenses can not only victims can iniga cases can we don't even disclose like the location, the school, the residence, like takan good thage because that people will come to know like itu pray mohan itu kan tak pi mohan disclose na kore aro kun iniga kan disclose kore there is a penalty for that. Itu warni public should also be aware that any thing that is related to children itu la be careful korbo lage because unknowingly ignorance is not an excuse aro itu mohan korishu we will have to face the consequences.
Is there a compensation also for victims, even though two minors are involved? Offender is a minor and victim is a minor. In these cases, not particularly the recent one of bullying, but in any other case, if two minors are involved, is there any compensation for the victim?
See, so far we have this under the Victim Compensation Act. They have been giving compensation to victim of sexual assault. So far like under the Relief and Rehabilitation Department but apart from that, yes, depending like there is a compoundable offense. There are various sections. There are like cases which is compoundable, which is not compoundable. So like if the offenses falls under the charges of compoundable offenses, then the parties can just amicably settle between the parties. India kan dito takan mohan India ko dibude to kan medical expenses no libi to kan la iman for the itu to kan harassment karni man di dibude guisho kule to there is no bar to it. Takan parties kan na majiti takan settle koribo paribo.
So coming to that now, it's a good thing that you have mentioned about amicable settlement. They come to every time some crime happens, be it adult or minor, is that the right way Moana system there, Moana society there? They always compromise?
No. Under the law, there are two categories. One is falls under the compoundable offence, and number two falls under non-compoundable offence. If the charges falls under the non-compoundable offence, for example, like heinous crimes like rape, murder, no like kidnapping charges, even if the parties agree to amicably settle between the parties, no, it is not compoundable. And if at all like FIR quash, they'll have to take it to the appropriate forum, that is the High Court, to quash the FIR when it comes to offences relating to non-compoundable offences. But any compoundable petty offences can be civil matters can but under the law, like we have two categories. Not all like offences are compoundable.
In regard to this, the children, the victims were all at CCIs, child care institutes, and we can see this happening a lot in our state where Bachakan Bahar Babishe, alag state, alag district Babishe aaye, Dimapur, and then they come as relatives, but they end up getting abused, physically abused a lot. We have heard so many stories from different districts in our region. So is there a law for this, to keep a check on this? And is there another, is the same child helpline number that we can call 1098? And if so, what are the implications for such cases for the abuser?
See, just for your information, like under Chumou district, we have around like 7 CCIs, child care institute. So those registered homes are being monitored by this office. So we have this inspection team. So time to time we go for inspection. Even the child welfare committee, we go time to time for inspection. So from these registered homes, we have not received such kind of cases so far. But that incident that which happened, unfortunately, was unregistered home at that time. And but yes, that said home is also now under the process. And yes, very soon they'll be registering. And another thing is that with regard to what you're cautioning is that yes, we have received a lot of cases that children are being trafficked from various districts or from other districts, and in the name of education, in the name of foster care. But we also, and like since they are being abused, they keep running away from home, and they were rescued by some concerned citizen. Thereafter, like through child helpline, they have been produced before the committee. And on looking into the matter, some like we have faced so much difficulties also, because those are related to not only like interstate, but it becomes inter-country also. So we just want to educate the public also, like not to take it lightly, because in the name of education, if you want to give foster care also, it has to be done through proper channel. For example, the child has to come from another district, say from Tueng Sang to Dimapur. So even Tueng Sang, they have their own child welfare committee. So if you want to send the children for foster care to Dimapur, like through the child welfare committee Tueng Sang, they inform the Chumou, for example, the child is supposed to stay in Chumou. Then, since if the foster family is from Chumou, they can through the Tueng Sang Child Welfare Committee, they can inform the Child Welfare Committee Chumou. Chumou will go and do the home verification. We'll see whether it is a fit place for the child to be kept or not. And after ascertaining all that, we inform our counterpart. Then, if the child, and if if done through the proper channel, like it will be in the best interest of the child, because there's less chances of the child being abused also. So like if the public is aware about that, it will be very helpful, because like I said earlier, we have all the system in place, the child services is in place, but the public are not making use of it. And therefore we also want to educate the public that in every district we have all the offices, the DCP office is already established, and all the committees, everything is in place. So if at all you want to send the children out of your district, out of the village, please come through proper channel, so that we don't have to face such kind of cases, because we have received especially a lot of such kind of cases.
Public when it comes to juvenile cases, identity reveal code against the law, but the public are like killing review offender so public can like side presence do that. बच्चा खाना when it comes to बच्चा cases minor cases ना identity तो review करोगे
Supplementing, even adults also, if you can just sensitize, no matter what the crime, we are not supposed to reveal the identity. Can we just, because we do get a lot of comments, if they have committed the crime, why hiding their face? Be it minor or adult. So can we just sensitize us?
See, regarding the minors, Mogando any operator as per the JJ Act now, Mogando, the thing is why we maintain the privacy is that like Mohan Takangedu, we don't consider them as an criminal. To tie offense Kurigina Tagisha Kulibi, we give an opportunity for the child to reform so that the child will go back into the society as a reformed person. Na Olibi Tagi to Moitahan Tagi expose Kurishukule Bahar Ulila Tagabi, it will cause mental trauma. Na Arataila itu Taila future to tan sop itu affect. So the reason lawmakers can be ininga kuratu they have done it in the best interest of the child. Aro itu child bacha kan na itu cases kan do raki kino case kuna thagishi kole after few years after the matter itu kan kotum hoigina appeal korbule kha it kan sob kotum hoigina inia koishik after a particular period of time the case itself is destroyed. Dangur manu kan na to moandu file kan to destroy no kore hole bi bacha kan na offenses kan na to we don't keep the record, we destroy all the record that is for the best interest of the child. Aro itu kan even for the adults na say for example like ito kan amingando the moment an offense is committed aro manuge arrest do we all think like this person has done wrong, but until unless proven guilty by the court we cannot say that the person is an accused. We call them an trial prisoner, you know. So like court pratai ke saza digina trial sob kurigina o tai tu gulti hoise man saza kaise man fine dese man ilia koratak we cannot say that the person is guilty, right? Because the person is yet to be tried. So itu even though like manu crime kurbi no kurbi we all have our own human rights, and then that is why even an accused person like cannot be convicted without having a counsel na ito garne government pra amicus curiae no legal counsel kan ito kan provide korna ta ke defend korle de do. So just because a person has committed an offense doesn't mean the person has lost like taila human rights to nai na tai to manu no inega bi na pabi bo lage. And then regarding like disclosing the identity of the victims kan to mohan inyala cases kan to adult kan hoise gulu especially sexual assault victims and all to just ito takadla ito overall well-being garni, because it's not a very comfortable for everyone like of course public kan to jani bole mon thakibo pare na hole bi we have to maintain the privacy also ena kurigina para tak to kan man jani bole nakorle bi bhala se kuni to bi koi di ase.
So viewers apningan press conference laga opode detail ba hunilushe the child welfare committee laga chairperson Esther Ayer babi chundu May 31st Chumou district te bullying laga upor de video viral ho laga upor de that details pa janiboli dishe takhan itu mamla laga upor de bi takhan seriously sai se gusha ro itu laga upor de victim la bababra women police station there FIR already lodge kurina ase gusha ro itia samai victim ke bi counseling dia se guna bi janiboli disha ro yede public khan ge bi ekta janiboli dia do minor related enaga offenses kan minor khan ba kurina thagishi gule do video na banawole lage gusha because itu do legal nohoy guna janiboli disha ro yede amingan saigina jeshi gule do amingan Nagaland do jodi minors kan ba crime nilbe offense commit kurishugule do tribal bodies can ba intervene kurina tahan law do tangala hatte luje, but itube mana asibushe because tribal bodies doesn't have the authority to take matter with regard to child offenders kunabi yede chairperson ba clearly kuigina se kile gule do concerned authorities ase law enforcing agencies ase tahan ke hi jaigina khobor dibole janaise aru tiglan huigina amigan huta huti kura dem de naga minors kan ba tahan offense commit kura bichre tahan ke counseling dia laga duration bi kiman thage na huta huti kam de januli dishi chairperson ba ki tahan imedi do duration do nai, but petty issues kan do man time bi nologshe but heinous crime jodi minors can ba commit kuna rakhishi gule do tahan laga duration do it takes to maximum 3 years loy gana bi janibuli dishe ya dia ro manu kan ba minor involved takan video circulate kuri ase gushilo do penalty bi impose korubole pare guna bi janibuli disharo ide chairperson backta janibuli the other minors involved kan do tahan do IPC section under the impose no kure, but justice juvenile act laga under the tahan laws can be imposed kurina ase guna de chairperson babi janibuli disharo ide viral video anaga social media de video khan circulate kura do nokurubole appeal kura ase public khan gibi kiloglo do bacha laga privacy to bishi important ase tahan laga well being nimide to karne public khan ki bi appeal goise jet aha samai debi minors involved thagishu gule do video luigina viral kurina dibole tahan ba public ki bi appeal kurina ase aro idibi public khan ke sensitize goise jet minor involved thaga khan de do jodi inaga public domain de anishu gule do tahan laga identity to reveal kubule na pare guna ye de chairperson babi clearly state kurigina se to ido jundu May 31st Chumou district te tahan students kanbra minor bacha ba ekta maiki ke bully kura laga upor debi Chumou students union ba holibi konyak students union kanbra holibi contempt kurigina itu do according to the law tahan ge kinaga action lowole se tulaga puri lubuk shari tuklan hoigina Nagaland Board of School Education kanbra be school departments can they sensitize school anti-bullying or anti-racking laga opor be clearly mentioned kurigina se to kwa nishna do child welfare committee ba etu matter to be seriously lo ase ami kan hope pray thakibo that victim laga opor be justice dibole ami kan at the earliest hope pray thakibo eta karone mani for more news and updates keep watching Global Window. This is Chanbini with my video journalist Anung reporting from DCPU office Chumou.